to tell you what it wants to be. If you try to bludgeon it into what you want to be, you're going against the grain of everything. And I think humans, I had a real revelation. This is going to be really weird, but I've only been here in Iceland for 2 days. I drove around, we were taken around on a wonderful trip today for like 6 hours, just observing the landscapes of Iceland, talking about the hidden people, the forms of energy used here, the thermal energy, and talking to filmmakers who work here and observing the light and how it changes consistently. It is very unstable, and in filmmaking, people freak out when the light changes because it's supposed to match, you know? And Icelandic filmmakers accept this instability and in a way embrace it. And I have a theory that Iceland, which is a really fascinating culture to me, is really something particular, because the problem for me with humanity is often this going against the grain and forcing. You know, there are indigenous cultures, African cultures, Buddhism. There are cultures that don't go against the grain, but say you must go with the grain. There's something in, this is just a theory I've been working on for 24 hours. There's something in Iceland here that goes with the grain. And I have a lot of examples of it, besides accepting the change of the light and the change of the weather. I see it in using energy in the way it's used in Iceland, in allowing this thermal heat to be used as an energy and going with the grain and not building a power plant and forcing something. I see it even in some architectural details. I saw a beautiful modern building that was all the color of rust. And the idea of allowing that surface to degenerate in a natural way seemed very Icelandic in a beautiful way of acceptance of things. So, I don't know, the Icelandic culture and people seem to have something they understand, that going with the grain is far more important than fighting it somehow. You know, this is probably absurd, but I'm still working on this theory. But I like my theory, and I like Iceland. I like this respectfulness people show to each other, and I don't know, something moving to me. So I'm observing you guys, you know, I'm trying to learn something. I think the hidden people are a way of protecting that too, of protecting that. Imaginary or not, doesn't matter. What's real is arbitrary. But the idea of something, a natural force that protects things that allow you to go with the grain, I don't know. Just shoot me. Take me off the stage whenever you want. But anyway, that's my new theory. I'm working on it. I see it in films too from Iceland. I hear it in the music too, you know. Something ethereal of allowing things to go from solid to gas to liquid, you know? So you know, again, I can't really separate the films, I don't know. This wasn't, to me, something particularly new, but whatever psychedelic means or hallucinogenic means, it is something that affects your consciousness and is a way of looking at something in a different way. Christopher Doyle was important to me, as I've been a fan of his work for a long time. We've known each other a long time. We had not worked together, except we did make a video clip for Jack White's band, the Raconteurs, the first video for their band we made it together. But the thing that was very important for me and helpful and beautiful about Chris is that when I work, I don't draw storyboards. I don't even have a shot list, which is very good because it frees you from the production side of the film, wanting to know, well, how many shots are you going to do today? Well, I'll tell you at the end of the day. You know, I don't know. It's not to say we didn't think, as other DPs I've worked with, and with Chris, we think very much in advance about how we're going to shoot the film. We location scout together. We make endless notes. We discuss things endlessly. We talk about light and color and composition. And then when we walk on the set to shoot that day, we throw all those things away. Some of them are retained, but we're not following a plan. We are intuitively approaching how will we approach this scene. Because you can go to a location a month before you shoot and make all kinds of notes, and go there a month later and suddenly the sky has changed, the light is different, your feeling about it is different, the colors therefore have changed. So for me, I have to be intuitive, and Chris is an incredibly intuitive person and a director of photography. He doesn't even think he's a director of photography. I don't know what he thinks he is, but he is a kind of poet of images, and he's very fast, and he knows right away what he feels would be a good place for the camera. He does not think ahead, like, well, will our next shot cut with this shot? So, which is, I just accepted about him because that's not his gift. His incredible gift is being in the moment. And I also very much like his disregard for the equipment. Like he doesn't, there are people who the equipment, you keep it clean, it's very careful. To him it's a tool that if he wants to drop it in the dirt, you know, it's a pencil he's drawing with, like that. And I really love that about him. It's very kind of rock and roll kind of approach. I know it's difficult for people in the production if the equipment gets broken, but I just like his attitude of, let's find it right now, you know, let's just do it, and let's do it, what do we feel now, and forget what was 10 minutes ago, you know? And he's not thinking about what are we going to do 10 minutes later, which has to be my job in a way, so the scene's cut together. He could care less if the scene cuts together. To him, each shot is some kind of painting, some thing in itself. So that was very good for me, you know, very important for me to have that intuitive spark of him beside me, collaborating at all times. And he works very fast and very hard, and he has a very incredible sense of light and images. So, but he doesn't approach it in a traditional way. He's definitely not analytical. You know, he doesn't even care if the shot's cut together. He would say, that's your problem. I just know this is a great shot, you know. So it was very, very positive, especially for this film where I, as I said, was trying to try to eliminate certain expected things. And Chris's, his kind of, I don't know, his energy was very valuable, extremely valuable to collaborate with him, you know. And I did one little thing for him in the editing of the film. The very last shot of the film breaks the frame, and all the frames are very careful and beautiful throughout the film, and the last shot just throws it away. That wasn't intended on his part. He was going up an escalator hand-holding the camera, and it was very heavy, and at the end he just had to pull it off and turn it off. But it was so Chris Doyle-like to fracture it all and just throw it away. And so I edited the film and left that on at the end, and I didn't tell him. And then when he saw the film, I was very conscious of how he would react, and he was like, that's great. He just throws it away.